Welcome back to our live stream on sportinglimerick.com of the Limerick Senior Football Championship tie involving Adare and St. Senans, supported by Irish Wire Products. It's the final match in Group 1. Adare already qualified for the semi-finals. No matter what happens here, St. Senans in a good position even if they are to lose, but they are down to 14 players. Half-time score 7 points to 4 in favour of Adare. Mike Sexton will shortly get the second half underway. John, it's looking very good here for Adare.
It is, Mal. Yeah, they haven't needed to get out of second gear, as we were saying before. But at half time, getting their scores a lot easier than St. Senans, and now even though the win seems to have dropped a little bit, they should have enough to see themselves through with 5 wins from 5 from the group stages.
Earlier on I saw Shane Kelly, who's from Newcastle West, coaching of course St. Senans, give a strong team talk. I wonder what sort of a team talk he gave at half time, because they have their work cut out here in Newcastle West with 30 minutes to go. Do St. Senans to get a positive result, or indeed any sort of a result. Adare and Hugh Burke, he knocked over 2 points in the first half. Now in possession, Paul Maher teasing out the St. Senans defence. Mikey Lyons was expecting it and is onto it. Mikey Lyons for Adare, throwing a good ball in towards his full forward line. That's a free for St. Senans, who, to remind you, lost Richard Hayes to a straight red card at the tail end of the first half, and thus are numerically at a disadvantage against the holders Adare for this second half. Inside the first minute of that half, here's St. Senans and Anthony Mulvihill. Mulvihill for the Saints, linking up in turn with Darren Kavanagh, wearing 17, but he's been on from the start in place of the unavailable Conor Milan. Release back towards Anthony Mulvihill. In turn, James Naughton once again for St. Senans. They need a very good start to this second half to come back into the reckoning. 3 points adrift in a low-scoring match. Indeed, so far just 2 wides, 1 apiece. St. Senans have possession now. There may be an opportunity for them. Looking for something here for them is Max Sweeney, and Max Sweeney has thrown it over the crossbar. His 4th point of the afternoon. Well, for a moment it looked as if there's maybe a chance to threaten Brendan Carmody in the Adare goal.
There was a good ball in and very well won by Max Sweeney. There, Aidan O'Connor got back just in time to put him off, and Sean McSweeney settled for the point. Just a quick note, Oran Collins is man marking James Naughton. He's doing a fantastic job for Adare today. Naughton has been St. Senans' danger man throughout every game this season, most notably against Ron Broadford, but Collins hasn't given him a sniff today so far.
St. Senans have the ball back, and Anthony Mulvihill. In the end, they've managed to feed it through towards the defensive 45. St. Senans now moving forward, and Stephen O'Connell for them. Still O'Connell. Good presence around the centre of the field so far in Championship 2018 for St. Senans. James Naughton. Naughton looking to get inside Oran Collins. It's going to be a free. St. Senans have it. 3 minutes into the second half. We await the first score of this second period. St. Senans hold on to possession once again, and Darren Lawler for them, linking up with Darren Kavanagh. Adare winning it back, and Jack Fitzgerald. It's 7 points to 5. Adare, the team that are holding on to a precious 2-point lead. They also are backed by the breeze in this half. No real pressure on the Adare centre half back, Owen Ryan. It's going to be a line ball for St. Senans. One they decide to take very quickly, finding Anthony Mulvihill. Adam Kearns has been released, and he makes progress into open space inside once again. Sean McSweeney, one of the star performers here at Newcastle West this evening. McSweeney has scored 4 points, but not this time. He's dropped it rather tamely towards the left. It's just a second wide for St. Senans. Adare have just 1 wide behind them.
Yeah, and a bit of a hit and hope shot there from McSweeney to come in well onto his left foot. A couple of Adare defenders around him though, and probably should have come back outside with the ball, but St. Senans with another free now, won by James Naughton.
On this occasion, James Naughton will probably take the free himself. Richard Hayes, their regular free taker, He's not on the field of play at the moment, having been dismissed with a straight red card near the end of the first half. Maurice Fitzgerald looking for it, but James Nocton is going to take his time and attempt to score. It's maybe 40 metres out from that goal. If this one was to be fired over, suddenly just 1 point would divide Adare and St. Senans. Here comes the free. It's drifting towards the right. Can be kept in play, and it is. St. Senans holding on to the ball, courtesy of Darren Kavanagh. Here's McSweeney. McSweeney sends it in. Neat point taken by Sean McSweeney. His second of this half, his fifth of the match. And St. Senans are coming back into serious contention.
Yeah, it's all McSweeney again at the moment. He did brilliantly to keep the ball in from Nocton's attempted free, and Darren Kavanagh giving the ball back. This time more accurate than he was with his last shot, and a point between the teams, and St. Senans have started the second half very well.
The scoreboard reading 7 points to 6 in favour of Adare, who headed St. Senans by 3 at half time, 7 points to 4. They haven't scored, have Adare, in the first 5 minutes or so in Newcastle West in this second half. It's been St. Senans dominating the happenings. James Nocton released as far as Ger Hanlon. Nocton receives the return pass. Now to Maurice Fitzgerald. An ambitious effort by him. Dropping short. Claimed by Brendan Carmody, the goalkeeper. David Connolly involved as well. And Adare are able to clear their lines. James Hickey has released it. Adare pushing forward in search of their first score of the second half. Jack Fitzgerald. Jersey tugged. It's going to be a free for Adare. Out around the halfway mark at Newcastle West. The reason that the play has been stopped is that St. Senans are bringing on a substitute. That would appear to be Darren Kearns. Darren Kearns receiving the little slip from club secretary Michael Milan, dad to the injured Conor Milan, the former county stalwart for so many seasons with Limerick. Minor, under 21, and of course senior. Play continues now, and Paul Maher making ground, gaining ground anyhow for Adare. St. Senans, by the way, have withdrawn Anthony Mulvihill. James Hickey needs to get rid of this one. He knew it as well. Aidan O'Connor, the captain, he's knocked it away, and St. Senans have stolen it. 14-man St. Senans. James Nocton looking to lead as a captain in this closing half. St. Senans are beginning to punch holes in the Adare defence. Not this time though, and Jack English as far as the advancing Hugh Burke. Quick ball movement through, and Adare looking for something. Maybe there's a goal. The goalkeeper has made a fantastic save. Cian Walsh denying Hugh Burke on that occasion. It's Adare. Mark Connolly. Adare have options. Sweeping ball claimed by Mikey Lyons. Goal for Adare. Just like that. Mikey Lyons with his goal in the 8th minute of the second half, and that restores Adare with a big lead here against St. Senans. They're in front by 4 points. A big score in terms of the low scoring nature overall of the match.
Big goal for Adare. St. Senans had dominated the early stage of the second half. Initially a great save from Cian Walsh from Hugh Burke's shot. Charlie McCarthy picking the ball up, give a long hand pass across the square. Rather than trying to punch it straight away, Mikey Lyons calmed the situation, turned his man, buried it in the corner. St. Senans with James Nocton on the attack.
Here's Nocton. It's 1 against 3 realistically. Nocton has earned a free. It's smack in front of the uprights. He thought about taking it quickly, and rather fortunately from his perspective, the referee has called it back. It's going to be a free for St. Senans. We're playing 9 minutes of the second half. The Irish Wire Products Limerick Senior Football Championship tie. Adare in front. 1 goal and 7 points for them. St. Senans 6 points. St. Senans can close the gap to 3 points here with this free. If it goes over, Nocton has superbly knocked it over the crossbar. A point for James Nocton, and it's one that brings the difference between the two teams down to 3 points. Still a long journey left here at Newcastle West.
Yeah, there is. Just immediately, it was a good reaction from the after the concession of that goal. It was Nocton himself taking on the ball, and he has, as I was saying earlier, that Oran Collins is doing a very good marking job, but Nocton has taken a lot of the responsibility on himself, bringing St. Senans back into the game with his runs, with his passing, and now his shooting as Adare come forward again.
Adare holding on to the ball, and Paul Maher not for long. Mikey Lyons 1 goal and 2 points in this match. He's popped it down towards the corner, and Adare are holding on to possession. Here's David Connolly. In turn to Mikey Lyons. Lyons maybe and his company looking to draw the St. Senans defence and cover and maybe claim a free. Mikey Lyons, the breeze beginning to freshen here at Newcastle West. Short ball popped as far as Shane O'Connor. Jack English looking for it back, and he has it. Here's English now going through. It's Shane O'Connor. Goal on here for Adare. It slipped in, and somehow the ball is coming out. They're at 6s and 7s inside there are St. Senans, but they have in the end claimed possession and a free. Ollie Wallace and co were under it. It could so easily have been goal number 2.
Goal number 2 and curtains it would have been for St. Senans, you'd think, at that stage. Very good, nifty hand passing in the attack from Adare to set up the chance for Shane O'Connor. Again, Cian Walsh did well, covered his angles, ball bobbled around the square, could have went anywhere. Lucky escape for St. Senans.
Darren Kearns, their new player that has been introduced in place of Anthony Mulvihill. A little bit slow reacting, but he has it. That's James Nocton, has kicked a point a moment ago from a free. What about from general play? That's a smashing one. James Nocton, his second point of this half, and that closes the gap to very manageable proportions. 2 points between them at this point.
Yeah, brilliant from Nocton again. We've already said he's probably the key to St. Senans coming back into this game. Lovely score there. Beat Jack Fitzgerald, got himself a bit of space, and a lovely swing of the right boot to put it over the bar.
This is the Irish Wire Products Limerick Senior Football Championship tie between Adare and St. Senans from Newcastle West, being streamed live this evening on sportinglimerick.com. 1-7 to 8 points, the story of the match so far. Adare leading. They've added just one score, albeit a massive one since half time. The goal by Mikey Lyons. Jack English. Adare looking to move forward and do so stylishly with Aidan O'Connor. Hugh Burke. Nice ball played as far as his front line of attack. Back out it comes to Oran Collins. Slipped forward to Charlie McCarthy. Shane O'Connor plays it forward. He, the player that had a goal scoring opportunity a few minutes back in this match. Big long ball played towards the territory of Jack Fitzgerald, who wasn't quite expecting it, has done well to keep the ball alive, and possession is his. David Connolly, Jack English. English throwing it down invitingly towards the corner. St. Senans have earned a free from the Brewery referee, Mike Sexton. Scores elsewhere will have a bearing in terms of the two teams to progress, or three from this particular group. Right now it's Adare going through, looking to seal their place, and do so now with Mikey Lyons claiming his second goal. 2 goals and 2 points for Mikey Lyons as Adare move on to 2 goals and 7 points in a very strong position. No matter what happens here, they will go through, and here they're looking for a third goal. It's a hat-trick for Mikey Lyons. Well, 2 goals in 15 seconds. Something that's unlikely to be repeated ever in Championship 2018. Mikey Lyons has scored 3 goals and 2 points. Adare will easily at this point probably top the group anyhow. Easily. They were doing that irrespective of the result. St. Senans still have an opportunity to qualify. More about that in a moment as Adare are piling on the pressure. Who else? Only Mikey Lyons was involved. It spills away from him. Adare have the ball dropped towards the left side of the full forward line. No break for St. Senans, who are down 1 player since half time, or shortly beforehand, with the dismissal of Richard Hayes. Adare are looking for an extra score, and that is just called wide. Scores elsewhere, John, having a bearing. We're maybe 10 or 15 minutes as well into those second halves.
Indeed we are, Mal. Na Piarsaigh 11 points to 5 up in Ballylanders. Must win game for Na Piarsaigh. After 39 minutes they've a 6-point lead. It's looking likely that it'll be them and Drumbroadford, or that them leaping ahead of Drumbroadford and leaving Drumbroadford in relegation final trouble against St Patrick's, because Monleen are beating Drumbroadford by 4 points after 39 minutes as well. And just on them 2 goals, it's conceded by St Senans, architects of their own misfortune, giving the ball away for the first goal. We left Hugh Burke, giving him that kind of room. Ball across the 21, easy finish then, having Mikey Lyons hand pass. Inexcusable the second, while Cian Walsh with a kick out straight into his hands, and Lyons made no mistake with a low finish that has effectively finished Senans' chances tonight.
And has propelled Mikey Lyons to great prominence here at Newcastle West this evening. St Senans are not done just yet as they advance, threatening Carmody's goal, and denied by the crossbar are St Senans' Darren Kavanagh that time. And Adare are coming away, and Paul Maher in possession for the reigning champions in Limerick. Adare grabbing possession in their attack once again with Mark Connolly. Here's Hugh Burke for them. They're going for goal once again. It's Paul Maher. Burke inside, and it's touched to the right and wide. The player coming through was Dara Lane. Adare are making a substitution. It's Andy O'Connell. He's going on. One of the twins. Twin along with Stephen. And the player that's making a way, is now making his way towards the dugout at the near side of the ground, and that's namely Dara Lane, who could have been in on the goal scoring act there. The story of the match is it's 3-7 to 8 points.
Yeah, Adare now looking comfortable, although I haven't said that. St Senans had a great chance from Darren Kavanagh, who hit the crossbar to get back into the game. Maybe it's going to be a big challenge for them, albeit Sean McSweeney on the attack for St Senans again.
Sean McSweeney, who's landed 5 points, 3 of those coming in the first half. It's Ollie Wallace, no way through, and Adare are able to pick it as we move into what is now the 18th minute of the second half of this often exciting Limerick Senior Football Championship tie, being played in Newcastle West on a perfect pitch on a nice evening. Breeze has dropped again, but it is favouring Adare in this closing half. Paul Maher. Mark Connolly. No great hurry on the part of Adare. They have this handsome lead. James Hickey finding Shane O'Connor. O'Connor for Adare, holding on to possession is key. Jack English scored a lovely point in the first half, advancing his own line. He's been very much involved in all the good play by Adare. That's a disappointing kick in the end that's dropped away towards the left. Mike Sillery is moving in now for St Senans. He's going to replace Ollie Wallace in the St Senans attack. Sillery is called for this one himself. That's going to drop short of him. Going high was James Hickey, finding in the end centre half forward Hugh Burke. Free has been won by him. They're playing like county champions here in Newcastle West this evening. Full forward having a shot at goal himself, Shane O'Connor under that dropping ball, deciding to keep it in play. Cian Walsh. New man for St Senans, engaged in the action, Mike Sillery. Ball in the end released forward by Darren Kearns, a second half replacement for St Senans, who are under the cosh here at Newcastle West as they trail rather heavily against the defending champions in Adare. But still, the way the results are going, they're likely to be in the knockout stages. Adare and Jack English looking to get in on the score sheet once again as he kicks his second point of the evening. Jack English. St. Senans have restarted the play quickly. Stephen O'Connell. Maurice Fitzgerald. St. Senans, if you don't know, combination of Fines, Shanna Golden and Robertstown. 2 hops of the ball. Free is for Adare. They have possession, and that's Shane O'Connor that has released it rather quickly towards Paul Maher. Another free earned, that against Stephen O'Connell. Adare are pushing forward. They're not going to give up here at Newcastle West. They want to chalk up a big score and maybe score another goal. Shane O'Connor released as far as Mikey Lyons. Maybe he's enough goals. He's got 3 already. And this one can be squeezed in, but not on this occasion from the boot of Hugh Burke. Adare now can afford the luxury of introducing a few extra fresh legs and players to impress and given an opportunity as well. One of those going on now, Cormac Lynch.
Yeah, they're strolling to a comfortable victory here, Mal. A couple of wides from Mikey Lyons and Hugh Burke in the last couple of minutes. Shots they took on that, and another day they might have hurried themselves and tapped it over. You can see St. Senans getting back into it now, and them goals have been a real killer blow, especially down to 14 men. The final 10 minutes they're likely to tire a bit, especially the way Adare have been moving the ball forward. They're finding more scoring opportunities, easier to come by now in the last few minutes, and as I said, heading towards a comfortable victory.
They're probably not going to get it easy in the semi-final, and certainly not a final if they were to progress that far. But they have the look, and a good look about them here at Newcastle West this evening in terms of going further in this championship and once again winning the title for what would be the second occasion only, and back-to-back. It's not easy to put together back-to-back championships in Limerick these days, or indeed in any county. St. Senans and James Naughton looking for Stephen O'Connell. Finding Stephen O'Connell is Naughton. Up towards Lawler. Coming through on the right is Finnerty. Here's Lawler. Still it's Lawler. Nice ball released inside. St. Senans are looking for something. Not this time from Sean McSweeney though. It's gone to the left. It's wide. 8 minutes, a little over that now, of normal time remaining at Newcastle West in this Senior Football Championship tie. Carmody gets us back underway, finds his available centre half forward Hugh Burke. Burke plants a ball that arrives towards midfield and is picked up here by Charlie McCarthy. McCarthy, nice ball towards Andy O'Connell. Andy O'Connell, clever ball through. Here come Adare once again. Oh, nicely taken away from the boot of Shane O'Connor by St. Senans, who have possession now with Darren Kavanagh. St. Senans and Adam Kearns for them. St. Senans aren't too happy with that particular call. It's going to be a free for Adare. Or has he given it the other way? I think he did. Anyhow, St. Senans have possession. Stephen O'Connell pushing forward for St. Senans. Adam Kearns this side. A St. Senans team rattled in the closing half with 3 goals by a certain Mikey Lyons, who has scored 3-2 this evening at Newcastle West. Darren Lawler. Here's James Naughton. Still Naughton. He's been brought down unfairly by Andy O'Connell. As we approach the 23rd minute precisely of the second half at Newcastle West. St. Senans with the free, James Naughton to take. Unlikely to pop it over from here. Certainly against the breeze it would be a massive point. It's Naughton. He has the distance, he's curled it in, and that's a terrific score by James Naughton. His 3rd point this evening, but that his best so far. 2 frees landed by Naughton and 1 from play. There, introducing yet another substitute. They're home and hose in terms of the outcome of this match, leading rather comfortably here. Adare withdrawing the services of Shane O'Connor and giving an opportunity at this point to Billy Supple. Adare under it and Paul Maher. Finding Andy O'Connell. O'Connell to Mikey Lyons. Lyons is going through. He's the one man St. Senans don't want to have it. Here's an opportunity for the new man, but Billy Supple has not taken his chance. In fairness to Supple, it wasn't the easiest places to score from. 6 minutes of normal time remaining.
Yeah, another chance for Adare, and St. Senans have made another mess up from a kick. Another goal opportunity maybe here for Adare.
In the end, they've sent this one as high as you can possibly kick it, and it's dropped wide. Well, from such a close range, it was almost impossible to kick it as high as that. St. Senans looking to put a bit of respectability onto the score sheet. That will take a little bit of work, really. It's Ger Hanlon that has sent a big ball through towards James Naughton. Naughton, a goal would do a lot for St. Senans in terms of morale, but it's not easy to beat Brendan Carmody in there. James Naughton. Right-booted effort by Naughton. This is good, and it's 4 points for James Naughton. Brendan Carmody, very tall man in there for Adare as goalkeeper, has played a lot of it over the last few seasons and has played as well. Picked up his Limerick Senior Football Championship medal last season. Now Charlie McCarthy for Adare. McCarthy going it alone. He's dropping it left and it's gone wide. In terms of the score sheet, you can confirm it's...
Yeah, it's 3-8 to 10 points here in Adare, but there's been a change in the Piershik Ballylanders game. The Ballylanders now a point up in the Piershik. It'll put Ballylanders into second position with that victory. Monleen also beating Drumbroadford by 4 points in the closing stage there, but it has bigger consequences for the Piershik as they'll be heading into a relegation playoff against St. Patrick's if they don't pull things around in the final few minutes.
But St. Senans will go through. They have a huge scoring advantage.
Yeah, St. Senans will. It'll be Monleen that will be out. And their season then there's no relegation trouble from Monleen, but from a scoring point of view it will be St. Senans and Ballylanders joining Adare in the knockout stages.
A lot to play for tomorrow in the Limerick Senior Football Championships as well, but that's for another day. At this point it's Adare progressing with Paul Maher. Paul Maher has released this one in. Adare have missed a few chances in the latter stages of this match here at Newcastle West. 27 minutes into this closing half. St. Senans and Stephen O'Connell going through Adam Kearns. Kearns for St. Senans. Slips it forward. Here's James Naughton. Here's Naughton. Released towards Lawler. Lawler looking for a way through. Sillery's in there. The goalkeeper is beaten. It's a late consolation goal here for St. Senans. And Darren Lawler with the goal. Well, he's fairly fit, okay. He'd want to be. He's on, as I said earlier, Ireland's Fittest Family. That's coming up on national television over the next few months or so. 3 minutes left in this match.
Yeah, fine goal there from Darren Lawler. He's been playing wing back most of the game, but has ventured up into the forward line in the second half. Took his goal very well, but Brendan Carmody got a hand to it, but low down, a man of his big size, struggled to get down to it. And breaking play now for an Adare injury. Probably more gamesmanship slowing the game down than anything else. And a serious injury, I reckon, at this stage. 3-8 to 110 in favour of Adare.
That brings it down to 4 points.
4 points, 2.5 minutes of ordinary time left. You'd imagine Adare will have enough to still see this out, but Mal, as we know, stranger things have happened.
But in the end, St. Senans will be pretty pleased given that they've played with 14 players for the entire second half and are now suddenly within 4 points of an Adare team. Adare, though, have rested some of their bigger players, and now unfortunately they have an injury concern as well ahead of any possible semi-final next month in October. The score, a reminder, is 3-8 to 1 goal and 10. Adare leading St. Senans by 4 points here at Newcastle West. St. Senans not finished just yet, and it's James Naughton. Naughton looking for a big score from 35 metres out. He wasn't too far away. Jack English is a player that will be under pressure injury-wise to make it for the semi-final for Adare in a few weeks' time. Brendan Carmody. 90 seconds of normal time to go. Carmody drills it down the centre. St. Senans are still in the reckoning. Carmody, the big man under it, finds David Connolly. Connolly out the field it comes. And they're looking to hold on to it under pressure on this occasion is David O'Connor. Ball has been touched on the ground. It's St. Senans with a free. St. Senans with the free, and Darren Kavanagh playing it back, finding Stephen O'Connell. St. Senans have threaded this one through. Adam Kearns for St. Senans. St. Senans team, they're right in the frame for a surprise. Maybe they're 4 points down. They need a goal. Going forward is David Finnerty. Finnerty to the second half replacement, and a goalkeeper has made a save, only for Darren Kavanagh to score another late goal. And my word, it's not over here at Newcastle West. It's down to a 1 point match. Well, Mike Sillery had a chance of a goal. Carmody saved, and then it was touched home.
Remarkable stuff here, Mal. St. Senans coming back from absolutely nowhere of them 2 goals in the space of a couple of minutes. Adare now coming down the field again, but it's brilliant play from St. Senans. Set up that chance for Mike Sillery initially. Carmody with a fantastic save, but Sean McSweeney was on hand to flick the ball home from close range. But Adare now, as we head into the first minute of injury time, Adare on the ball.
In terms of the score, it's 3-8 to 2 goals and 10 points. 1 point between them. Adare are holding on against 14-man St. Senans, who put up a remarkable and spirited performance here in the second half. They looked buried on a couple of occasions, but now they are in with an outside chance. 30 seconds of injury time has been played, maybe 2 or 3 minutes to be added on. Were St. Senans to get a draw, they'd be in the semi-final and not the quarter-final. Adare and Paul Maher. Adare holding on. They know well too that St. Senans, were they to snatch a draw, it would mean that St. Senans and Adare would be in the semi-final of the championship. Maybe not going to happen. Adare would go through as top, St. Senans would go through as second, but it's just a remarkable display by St. Senans in this second half.
Some comeback, Mal. Yeah, it didn't look likely. Everything was against them at the start of the second half. Them 2 quick fire goals from Mikey Lyons as well. But they've stayed patient. James Naughton has led them the whole way through, with Sean McSweeney taking over scores as well. But now a chance for Adare to finish things with Hugh Burke.
Hugh Burke is our 4th goal for Adare. Not if St. Senans and James Bridgman have their way. Adare with possession over there. Billy Supple. Supple has played it to the fringe of the square. Adare will take a point, and they have a 2 point lead in the second minute of injury time. So it's almost confirmed Adare will go through as table toppers, unbeaten it would appear. St. Senans will qualify for a quarter-final spot in either second or third place. St. Senans now, they're not giving up in terms of collecting maximum league points on offer here at Newcastle West this evening. David Connolly looking to keep his opponent goal side. St. Senans and Maurice Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald for the Saints. Stephen O'Connell for St. Senans also. This is O'Connell. There are 2 points down. I think happy to settle for a point. Here's an opportunity, and that's a very tasty score by Mike Sillery. All eyes on Mike Sexton now, the match referee. We've played a little over 2.5 minutes, pushing towards the 3-minute mark of injury time. There's a little bit more to be added. It's Adare deep inside their own defence with possession. A couple of strong challenges going in on Owen Ryan. Right now it's Mark Connolly. Looking for it back is Adam Kearns. Adare holding on to the ball. Back out it will come to Mark Connolly. Good match here really at Newcastle West in the overall context of the happenings. Charlie McCarthy finding one of the new players, Cormac Lynch this time. In the end now back to Charlie McCarthy. Adare looking for an opening here. They've taken their eye off the ball, and St. Senans may have one late chance. St. Senans coming towards midfield, and with possession it's James Naughton. Good player to have at 4 points in this second half. St. Senans are driving towards midfield, and Sean McSweeney free has been awarded. The referee Mike Sexton has issued a black card. A player will have to go off. That would appear to be the Adare player who's not been on that long is Andy O'Connell free for St. Senans. Quickly dispatched, and back it comes towards Stephen O'Connell. This is the last chance. They have to push forward and go for a point, either from a free or from open play, and St. Senans are going the right way about it. Sean McSweeney, Dara Wolf, in turn to Darren Kavanagh. Kavanagh pumping it high. Maybe there's a late goal here. Carmody is under it. Brave piece of goalkeeping, and Adare coming away, and they've held on to beat St. Senans.
Yeah, Mal, lucky escape in the end. High ball in. Mike Sillery went for it. But Brendan Carmody came out brilliantly to take control, diffuse the situation, and there go through. Top of the table, 5 wins from 5. Gallant effort from St. Senans in the last 15 minutes to run them as close as they possibly could, especially being down to 14 men for the whole of the second half. But ultimately, it's Adare that have won through, albeit St. Senans should be happy enough for the quarter-final place.
So it's finished here on a final scoreline of 3 goals and 9 points to 2 goals and 11. Adare winners, if only just, over St. Senans.